What if I told you that you could grow a productive vegetable garden, even without having a backyard at all? No digging, no heavy work, no large garden plots. Just a few containers, quality soil, and the right choice of plants. That's the beauty of container gardening. With it, even a small balcony, a compact patio, or a sunny windowsill can become a space that produces real fresh food. And here's the surprising part. Some vegetables actually perform better in containers than they do in open ground. With fewer pests, easier watering control, and the ability to manage soil quality and sunlight, growing in pots can be incredibly efficient. In this guide, we'll explore 7 of the best vegetables for container growing, plants that are highly productive, beginner-friendly, and capable of delivering real harvests no matter how limited your space is. Let's get started. 1. Tomatoes. The star of container gardening. There's something truly special about growing your own tomatoes. That rich red color, the juicy texture, and that deep, sun-ripened flavor, it's completely different from what you find in stores. And the best part? You don't need a traditional garden. Tomatoes grow beautifully in containers, making them perfect for balconies or patios. In fact, containers allow you to give tomatoes exactly what they need: nutrient-rich soil, consistent watering, and optimal sunlight. However, choosing the right variety is essential. Not all tomatoes are suitable for pots. Instead of sprawling vine-like types, it's better to grow determinate or bush varieties that stay compact and manageable. Some great options include Patio Princess, Tiny Tim, Better Bush, and Roma. These varieties are specifically bred for container growing and can produce an impressive yield in a limited space. Container setup? Choose a large pot, at least 5 gallons, though bigger is always better. Deeper containers allow roots to expand and help maintain consistent moisture levels. Make sure the container has good drainage. Tomatoes don't tolerate soggy roots. Use high-quality potting mix instead of garden soil. It's lighter, better aerated, and drains properly. Before planting, mix in compost and a slow-release organic fertilizer. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, so giving them a strong start is essential. Sunlight and water. Tomatoes need plenty of sun, at least 6 to 8 hours of direct light each day. If you're growing indoors, use a grow light for 12 to 14 hours daily to support healthy growth. Water regularly, keeping the soil evenly moist but not waterlogged. Inconsistent watering can lead to problems like cracked fruit or blossom end rot. Using mulch or self-watering containers can help stabilize moisture levels. Care tips. Remove lower leaves as the plant grows to improve airflow and reduce disease risk. Add a cage or stake early to support the plant as it develops fruit. You can even plant basil in the same container. It's a great companion plant that helps repel pests and may even enhance flavor. And the reward? By mid-season, you'll have clusters of ripe tomatoes ready to harvest right outside your door. Slice one, add a pinch of salt, and taste it. That's the flavor of real summer, all from a single container. 2. Peppers, bright, compact, and highly productive. If tomatoes are the king of container gardening, peppers are the colorful queen. They bring vibrant color and variety to small spaces, from glossy green bell peppers to fiery red chilies, golden banana peppers, and even unique purple varieties. And just like tomatoes, peppers thrive in containers. In fact, they often prefer the warm, well-drained environment that pots provide. Choosing the right varieties. For small spaces, compact or dwarf varieties work best. Good choices include Gypsy, Baby Bell, Redskin, Jalapeno M, and Hot Portugal. Whether sweet or spicy, all peppers share similar needs: warm conditions, good drainage, and plenty of sunlight. Container setup. Use a 3 to 5 gallon container with good drainage. Terracotta pots are a great option because they allow airflow, though they may dry out faster and require more frequent watering. Fill the pot with a light, well-draining mix enriched with compost. Avoid heavy soils that retain too much moisture. Plant peppers slightly deeper than they were in their original container. This helps develop a stronger root system. Feed regularly with a balanced fertilizer. Once flowering begins, switch to one higher in potassium and phosphorus to support fruit production. Light and temperature. Peppers love heat. The warmer it is, the better they perform. They need at least 6 to 8 hours of sunlight daily. If temperatures are lower, placing containers near a wall can help reflect heat and light. Ideal nighttime temperatures are between 15 to 21 degrees Celsius, 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. If it gets too cold, flowers may drop, so consider protecting plants during cool nights. Watering and care. Keep the soil consistently moist but not overly wet. Mulching helps retain moisture and regulate temperature. To improve pollination, gently shake the plant or tap flowers, especially useful in indoor or low wind conditions. Removing early flowers can help the plant establish stronger roots, leading to better yields later. Harvesting. Peppers can be harvested at different stages. Green peppers are crisp and mild, while fully ripened ones are sweeter and richer in nutrients. Hot peppers also increase in spiciness as they mature, giving you control over flavor and heat level. And the best part? The more you harvest, the more the plant produces. A single healthy plant can yield dozens of peppers in one season. Imagine your balcony filled with colorful fruits: green, red, yellow, even purple. A vibrant, edible display that proves you don't need a garden to grow real food. 3. Lettuce and salad greens. Fast and effortless harvests. If you're just starting with container gardening, or simply want quick, satisfying results, this is the perfect place to begin. Lettuce and salad greens are some of the easiest and fastest crops you can grow. Plant them once, and within just a few weeks, you'll already be harvesting fresh, crisp leaves straight from your balcony, patio, or even your windowsill. These greens are naturally shallow-rooted, which makes them ideal for containers. They don't need deep soil or large spaces to thrive. Whether you're using a planter box, a simple pot, or even a repurposed container like a wooden crate or bowl, they'll grow happily as long as the basics are right. One of their biggest advantages is flexibility. They prefer cooler temperatures and don't require intense sunlight, so they can grow well even in partially shaded areas, something that many other vegetables struggle with. Varieties to grow. To keep things interesting, it's best to grow a mix. Butterhead types like Buttercrunch offer soft, tender leaves. Romaine adds a satisfying crunch. Red leaf varieties bring both flavor and color to your harvest. For even more convenience, try a mesclun mix. These are blends of baby greens that regrow after cutting, giving you a constant supply without extra effort. You can also expand your selection with spinach, arugula, kale, or Swiss chard. These leafy vegetables grow just as well in containers and add extra nutrition and variety to your meals. You light and containers. One of the reasons lettuce is so beginner-friendly is that it doesn't demand full sun. Around 4 to 6 hours of light per day is enough, which makes it perfect for shaded balconies or smaller urban spaces. Use a wide, shallow container about 15 to 20 centimeters, 6 to 8 inches deep. Since the roots spread horizontally rather than deeply, surface space matters more than depth. Ensure good drainage and fill your container with loose, fertile soil enriched with compost. Watering and feeding. Lettuce prefers consistently moist soil but doesn't tolerate waterlogging. Keep the soil evenly damp, especially during warmer days. If it dries out too much, the leaves can become bitter. Water gently, ideally in the morning or evening. Every couple of weeks, you feed with diluted compost tea or a mild organic liquid fertilizer to keep growth tender and flavorful. Harvesting. The real secret to getting the most out of your greens is the cut and come again method. Instead of pulling the entire plant, harvest only the outer leaves and allow the center to continue growing. This simple technique keeps your plants producing for weeks, often 4 to 6 weeks or more, giving you a continuous supply of fresh greens. You'll essentially have your own mini salad garden right outside your door. For an extra boost, plant herbs like parsley, chives, or dill in the same container. They naturally help repel pests like aphids and add fresh flavor to your meals. With just a few containers and a handful of seeds, you can grow enough greens for daily salads, fresh, fast, and incredibly rewarding. 4. Potatoes, the ultimate hidden harvest. If lettuce gives you quick results, potatoes bring something even more exciting: surprise. With potatoes, everything happens out of sight. You won't see the real progress as it grows. But when harvest time comes and you tip out your container, that's when the magic happens. And yes, potatoes grow extremely well in containers. In fact, for small spaces, it's one of the best and most enjoyable crops you can grow. Getting started. All you need is a deep container, a grow bag, a large pot, or even a bucket with drainage holes. Depth is essential here, at least 30 to 40 centimeters, 12 to 16 inches. Always start with certified seed potatoes rather than store-bought ones. Store potatoes are often treated to prevent sprouting or may carry diseases, while seed potatoes are specifically prepared for planting. Or if the potatoes are large, cut them into pieces, ensuring each piece has at least one eye. Let them dry for a day before planting to reduce the risk of rot. Planting and growth. Start by filling the container with about 10 centimeters, 4 inches, of loose, nutrient-rich soil. Place the seed potatoes on top with the eyes facing upward, then cover them with another layer of soil. As the plant grows, continue adding soil or straw around the stems, a process known as hilling. This encourages the plant to produce more tubers along the buried stem, increasing your harvest. Repeat this process a few times as the plant grows taller. By the time the container is full, you'll have a layered system where potatoes are forming throughout the soil column. Watering and feeding. Potatoes need steady moisture but don't tolerate overly wet conditions. Water when the top layer of soil dries out, typically a few times per week depending on the weather. Feed periodically with compost tea or a fertilizer rich in phosphorus and potassium. Avoid excessive nitrogen as it promotes leaf growth instead of tuber development. Light and temperature. Place your containers in a location that receives 6 to 8 hours of sunlight daily. Potatoes prefer cooler soil, so in hot climates, consider shading the container slightly or insulating it to prevent overheating. Harvesting. When the plants begin to flower, you can gently harvest small new potatoes. For a full harvest, wait until the foliage turns yellow and begins to die back. At that point, stop watering for about 2 weeks. This helps the skins toughen, making the potatoes easier to store. Then comes the best part: empty the container and dig through the soil. It feels like uncovering hidden treasure. You'll find smooth, fresh potatoes, golden, red, or even purple, ready to cook. A single container can produce several kilograms of potatoes with proper care. And once you've tasted freshly harvested potatoes, still warm from the sun, you'll understand the difference immediately. That's not just food. That's real homegrown flavor. 5. Carrots and root vegetables. Hidden harvest. Beneath the soil. When people imagine container gardening, they usually think of leafy greens or tomatoes growing above the surface. But here's something many beginners overlook. Some of the most rewarding crops grow entirely out of sight. Root vegetables like carrots, beets, and radishes develop quietly underground, out of view, while you go about your day. Then suddenly, one day you pull one up, and there it is. Bright, crisp, and incredibly fresh. After that moment, store-bought carrots just don't compare. Why root crops? Thrive in containers. The reason is simple. Root vegetables need loose, deep, and obstruction-free soil. And containers give you exactly that. No rocks, no compacted ground, no competition from weeds, just a perfect environment for roots to grow straight and strong. Because they don't require much space above ground or pollination, they're ideal for balconies, patios, and small urban gardens. Containers and soil. Depth is essential. Choose containers about 25 to 30 centimeters, 10 to 12 inches, deep for carrots and beets, and around 15 to 20 centimeters, 6 to 8 inches, for radishes. You can use grow bags, deep planter boxes, or even repurposed containers as long as they have good drainage. Fill them with a light, airy potting mix. Add compost and materials like sand or perlite to keep the soil loose. Avoid dense garden soil, as it can lead to twisted or underdeveloped roots. Planting and care. Always sow seeds directly into the container. Root crops don't respond well to transplanting. Plant seeds shallowly about 0.5 centimeters, 1/4 inch, deep, and keep the surface consistently moist until they sprout, which may take up to 2 weeks. Once seedlings appear, thin them out carefully. It might feel difficult to remove some plants, but overcrowding is one of the main reasons for small or misshapen roots. Best varieties for containers. For carrots, choose shorter or compact types like Paris Market, Thumbelina, or Littlefinger. They grow quickly and adapt well to smaller spaces. Radishes are one of the fastest crops available, ready in just 3 to 4 weeks, making them perfect for beginners or anyone who wants quick results. Beets take a bit longer, but they offer a bonus. Both the roots and the leafy tops are edible, giving you 2 harvests from one plant. Watering and harvesting. Keep the soil evenly moist. If it dries out, roots can become tough or bitter. Water gently to avoid disturbing young plants and maintain consistent moisture throughout the container. Harvest radishes promptly once they reach size. Leaving them too long can affect texture. Carrots and beets are ready when the tops of the roots begin to show above the soil. Pull them up carefully, rinse them clean, and enjoy the result. Fresh, colorful vegetables grown entirely by you. There's something uniquely satisfying about growing food you can't see until the very end. Root crops remind you that the most important growth often happens quietly beneath the surface. 6. Bush beans. Small plant, big harvest. Now let's shift from underground to above ground productivity with one of the easiest and most rewarding container crops, bush beans. If you've ever wanted to grow your own protein-rich food without needing a garden, this is a perfect option. Bush beans are compact, fast-growing, and surprisingly generous. In just a short time, they can turn even a small sunny space into a productive growing area. Why bush beans work so well in containers? Unlike climbing beans that require support structures, bush varieties stay compact, usually under 60 centimeters, 2 feet tall. That makes them ideal for containers, patios, or balconies with no need for trellises or extra setup. They also grow quickly, reaching harvest in about 50 to 60 days, and continue producing as long as you keep picking. Container setup. Choose a container around 30 to 35 centimeters, 12 to 14 inches, deep with excellent drainage. Beans don't tolerate overly wet conditions. Fill it with a nutrient-rich potting mix, ideally blended with compost for slow-release feeding. Avoid excessive fertilizer. Too much nitrogen leads to leafy growth instead of pods. Sow seeds directly into the container about 2 to 3 centimeters, 1 inch deep, and spaced roughly 7 to 8 centimeters, 3 inches apart. Beans germinate quickly in warm soil, often within a week. Light and water. Bush beans need full sun, at least 6 to 8 hours daily. Water deeply once or twice a week, ensuring the roots receive enough moisture without waterlogging the soil. Yeah, consistency is important, as irregular watering can affect pod development. In hot conditions, add mulch to help retain moisture and regulate soil temperature. Pollination and production. Beans are self-pollinating, so they don't rely heavily on insects, though natural pollination can improve yields. First, small flowers appear, followed by developing pods. Within about a week, those pods are ready to harvest. Pick them regularly. The more you harvest, the more the plant continues to produce. Best varieties. Reliable options include Provider, Bush Blue Lake, and Contender. Compact plants with strong yields. You can also try yellow or purple varieties for added visual appeal. They're just as productive and add color to your garden. Extra benefit, natural soil. Enrichment. One of the most valuable features of beans is their ability to improve soil. They form a relationship with beneficial bacteria that capture nitrogen from the air and store it in the soil. Instead of removing the entire plant at the end of the season, cut it at the base and leave the roots in place. As they break down, they release nitrogen back into the soil, naturally enriching it for your next crop. In other words, you're not just growing food, you're improving your soil at the same time. Harvest experience. When harvesting, gently snap off the pods. You'll hear that clean, crisp sound that signals freshness. Whether steamed, sautéed, or eaten straight from the plant, homegrown beans have a sweetness and texture that store-bought ones simply can't match. With very little effort, bush beans give you an incredible return: fresh food, healthier soil, and a rewarding growing experience all in one container.